Well, all right. So welcome to today's Monday Mindset Call. In our Jump in January season, today's Mindset Call is around stop running and start speaking. Okay. And we've been talking about running away from the call. And last week we were talking about Jonah in the belly. You guys remember that? And we were talking about how sometimes we can run away from the call. Sometimes we can, we can change the direction of where it is that God really wants us to go because of fear and because of, a lack of confidence. And today I really want us to start to think about exactly who it is that we're becoming in the season of transition. And, one of the things I absolutely love about these calls is it is about removing distractions. It's about, so many of you on this call are leaders of leaders. You are, coaches, your parents. You're so used to pouring into other people. And this call, I want to urge you to really think about just taking the word for yourself. All right. Take the word for yourself and think about how you can pour into yourself and how you can be able to receive this word for yourself and not just from a place of going on to impact the people that you're due to serve. And, one of the things that I love about, this whole thing around personal development and the people that I study, like your Dr. David Imonities, your Jim Rohns, your Les Browns, Dr. Miles Monroe's, Michelle Obama's, and the people that I believe that speak life and pour into me is that I can take it from a place of understanding where I am at now, where I was before, but most importantly, where it is that I am going to be in the future. Now, this call, guys, I want you to think about the future you. Someone type the future me in the chat. Because a lot of the time, what happens is, especially in times of depression, in times of stress, in times of, looking at the goals that we want for our life, we can sit and think about the person that I am today or the person that I used to be. And those things can sometimes hold us back. And so everything that we talk about today, I want you to think about the future you. I want you to live in your imagination. I want you to live in what it would look like when you become who it is that God has called you to be. And so here's the best part of it is that you can have more than you have right now because you can become more, right? I can have more than I have right now because of who I am going to become. A lot of time we focus on the goal itself, but not really understanding the person that we have to become in the process. And so I suppose the flip side of that is unless I change, unless I grow, who I am, then I will always have what it is that I currently have. So if I can grow into having things that I want for the future, it also means that unless I grow, unless I change, unless I am open and receptive to becoming a new me, I will always have what it is that I have. In fact, I will go on to say that my income will never precede my personal development. How many of you want more money? This is the, new me, new money. I launched at the beginning of the year, new me, new money. And I know some people were like, Nikki, how can we really talk about money? We should be talking about money. Yeah, we are, because money is a resource and money is going to allow us to achieve the goals that we have for our life. Money is going to help us to build homeless shelters. Money is going to help us to be able to set up schools. Money is going to help us to be able to give back. Money is going to help us feed the poor. Money is going to help us to be able to do all the things that we want. So of course we have to talk about money. Of course we have to talk about financial literacy. Of course we have to become who it is that we're called to be so we can attract that money and not chase that money down. How many of you have ever been in a place where you were desperate for money? We don't want to be desperate. We don't want to be desperate. We want to be people that attract what it is that we want in our life. And so I understand that my income will never precede my personal development. That means until I become a person worthy to have that 100,000 a month, that 100,000 a month won't come. So who do I have to become to earn that 100,000 a month? Now I realize that in order for me to earn that 100,000 a month, I have to be a leader of my life. I have to be a leader of people. I have to be able to help people get what they want. So in turn, I will get what I want. In order for Rolls-Royce to be able to be a multi-million-dollar brand, they've had to give customers what they want. In order for me to be able to be a success, quote unquote, in the areas of my life, and on this call, we're talking about money unapologetically. The whole of last year, we spoke about, personal development, growing. Today, we're going to talk about money. Are you guys okay with that? Type money in the chat if you're okay about that. We're talking about money today, and we're going to unapologetic. And those of you that come on the call for the first time, I have a whole YouTube of all the calls that we've done over the last year. And we ain't mentioned money. But today we're going to go there, guys, because I feel convicted that today we got to talk about money today. You know why? Because there's a mindset behind the money. There's a mindset that we have to go in when we have our money. Because how many of us have money in our hands and by the next day we have the money out of our hands? Come on now, right? How many of us have money in our hands and that money come out of our hands? How many of us have said to ourselves, when this money comes in, everything's going to be great? And then, mate, when the money came in, all of a sudden that money wasn't enough. All of a sudden we found something else to do with that money. Come on now, okay? In fact, there's a quote that says, if you took all the money in the world and you distributed that money evenly, give it 12 months, that money will be in the same hands again. Meaning, because of the mindset behind money, you could distribute all the money in the world evenly to every single person. And within a 12-month period, what will happen is that the people that had the majority of the money will get back the majority of the money. The people that were poor will go back to being poor. That tells me that money isn't the issue. Money is the result. Money is the byproduct. Money is the outcome of our personal development. Money is the outcome of who we become. Money is the byproduct of the value that we bring to the marketplace. So success is something that you must attract. You don't pursue it. Instead of going after it, instead of chasing it down, instead of chasing this promotion at your job, in fact, what you do is you work on becoming a more valuable person yourself. You work on yourself. So the question is not, what am I getting paid? It's who am I becoming? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? True happiness is not about what you get. Trust me, guys. It's not about what you get. It's about who you become. Who are you becoming? And so there's a few things that I started to think about, 3 things. And I got this from Jim Rohn. 3 basics, he says. Number 1 is setting goals. How many of you have set goals? Most people I speak to, I'm like, hey, so what's your goal for the year? What are some of your goals for the year? Most people do not have goals. If you don't set a goal, then guess what? I can guarantee you this, you ain't gonna get nowhere. I can guarantee you, Jim Rohn says, if you haven't set a goal, I could guess how much money you have in your account by a couple hundred. I can tell how much you have in your account by the limited fact that you haven't set any goals. Now, most people don't even set goals. Most people have no idea. I gave a challenge to some of my personal VIP mentees, and I said to them, I want you to write down, 50 goals. Write down 50 goals. Like 50, Nikki. Yeah, 50. Because once you stop saying things like financial freedom, because that isn't even a goal, right? Once you get rid of all of the fluff and all of the things that we say, and then you really narrow it down to what you really want. I was speaking to a lovely lady today, and I said to her, I've written down a goal, right, that I want to expand my team from 6 to 25. I have a personal team, a team of, hairdressers, personal stylists, people that come to my house and clean and da-da-da. I want to have a team of 25. I got a personal team of 6 right now. That's a goal of mine. I've also set a goal, some other goals, right? Not just about business, about life, about your relationships. How many of you have goals for your marriage? If you're married, have you written down some goals for your marriage? One of the goals I wrote down is that me and my husband will have date night at least once or twice a month, right? What are the goals for your children? What's the goals for your household? Have you really set clearly defined goals? Most people have not set goals. Most people have no idea about the goals for their family, their goals for their business, their goals for their money. Most people have no idea. And then the ones that do have the goal, what they do is they write it down, but they're not open and receptive to when a strategy will come into place for them to receive it. Or they're not consistent enough to do the things that's required to get there. But those that write the goals, those that are strategic enough to continue and be persistent and consistent, they normally achieve a lot more. Most people don't know how to set goals. How many of you went to school? I did. They didn't teach us how to set goals there. How many went to college? I did. They didn't teach us how to set goals there, right? I worked in a bank for 15 years. I didn't learn how to set goals there. In fact, it was only towards the latter part of my HR career, when they wanted me to start to teach the rest of the bank how to set goals, that I learned about goal setting. So we're living in a society where the education system doesn't teach you how to set goals. So hence why most people don't set goals, ladies and gentlemen. Have you set the goals for your life? Have you set the goals for where it is that you want to go, the future you? Have you set those goals? The second thing that Jim Rohn talks about is the negative. He's like, listen, life is half positive, half negative. So we really got to look at the negative as well. And he starts to talk about the negative around, he says some of the negative things that we have to talk about is something called the diseases of attitude. He says attitude diseases will destroy everything you start. Wow. Attitude diseases will destroy everything you start. Now, I used to think I had a positive attitude, guys. How many of you think you have a positive attitude? I know some of my VIPs thought they had a positive attitude until we started using, the T-word challenge, and they realized, oh my God, I speak lack over myself every single day. How many on this call really believe that you are a positive person, right? I really thought I was until I started to listen to what came out of my mouth. Before, I used to say words like, oh, my back is hurting. Oh, my head is hurting. I'm tired. Oh, God, work has been stressful. Oh, dear, I hurt myself. And I realized that we speak lack over ourselves every single day. Can we get to a place where we start to speak positive over ourselves? Forget about what outside is saying. I speak to people all the time where when we look back, when we go back and we look back onto why we have low self-esteem and why we don't do the things that we're supposed to do and why we are skeptical and why we don't have the results that we want. When we look at all of those things, we can trace it back to a word that was spoken over our life. To an auntie, an uncle, a parent, a friend, a teacher who spoke something over our life, and that crucified us going forward. And we didn't even know it. Subconsciously, we're making decisions based on what somebody else had said to us 2, 3, 4 decades ago. This is why I've been fighting so hard with the whole racism with my son, because I don't want those seeds to make an impact on him in the future. When I go into the prisons and I see the young men and I hear their story and they say, I didn't plan to be in here. I didn't plan to be a criminal. I didn't plan to do that robbery. I didn't plan to do those things. And when we trace it back, they said, my teacher said I wouldn't amount to nothing. My parents said that I was this. Listen, do you guys know that word is seed? We used to say this saying, I don't know if you guys used to say it, but sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words will never hurt me. Lies. Words hurt. And they are seed. And they bring forth a harvest, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't even understand is happening on a day-to-day basis. This is why when they talk about brainwashing, we have to brainwash our mind every day. We got to feed ourselves every single day with the right words, the right seeds, so that these things become a harvest in our life. Because quite frankly, some of us have had so much negativity around us for so long, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to really rewrite some of the things that's coming to our minds. And so Jim Rohn talks about this whole, this whole diseases of negativity. We haven't even got outside yet. We're just still in our own head. The negativity we tell ourselves. The things we tell ourselves. What are some of the things we tell ourselves? We tell ourselves that we can't do things. We have limitation mindsets. We tell ourselves that we're incapable. We tell ourselves that, do you know that, check this out, check out this. How many of you on this call went to university, right? How many of you went to university? Put a 7 in the chat if you went to university or higher education, right? Now, I want you to think about this, especially like certain backgrounds. We were taught that higher education was the right thing to do. Yes or yes? Put a yes in the chat. We were taught from a young age, go to school, college, university, right? Now, let's put our, and this is no shade to no one, but I want us to put our logical brains on right now, right? How many of our parents went to university, or the people around us went to university? Before you went, did you have any role models that went to university? You saw maybe parents, you saw cousins, you saw, I don't know, some other people, right? A lot of them, I see no's in the chat, a lot of them didn't go to university, right? And so some of them said, you need to go to university because they believed the fact that they didn't go was the reason why they didn't have certain successes, right? And then you had the other side where you did have a role model and they did go to university, right? How many people that you know right now that went to university, okay, that are rich, or that have retired early, that have said, listen, university is the reason that gave me the best job of my life. And that job that I had studied for 3 to 5 years has enabled me to retire and live the life of my dreams. How many of you, because this is the stuff that we're taught, right? So let's go back to the root. We were taught, go school, college, university, get a good job. And that good job will mean that you are successful. Successful how? And so now the system tells us that we work till we're 67. I think they're going to bring it up to 71 or something like that to retire. And that is called life. How many of you on this call right now believe that that's the life that you desire? To live mediocre, to live by paycheck to paycheck, or to have a quote unquote good job. Like, I'm not shading a lawyer, a doctor, the jobs that they told us, an engineer were the good jobs. But how many of you know those people are still working tirelessly without the full resources? Some of them can't afford to buy a house. I know a judge who still can't afford a house in London. What are we talking about? That's the success. I know somebody who is a surgeon who is still struggling to get onto the property ladder. What are we talking about here? But here's the twist of this, is that we can, on this call, are struggling to think of 10 people, 5 people that have successfully gone through the system that the system has taught us is the route to go to get a good job. Because the system's not telling us to launch a business. The system's not telling us to be entrepreneurs. The system is telling us to get a good job. But we don't know people that have a good job, that are living the life that we desire. Well, I don't anyway. They're working all hours of the day. And here's the thing, they got the money, no time, or no time with no money, or time with no money. But true success, guys, is having the freedom to make choices to live the life the way you want. For me, I don't know what true success is for you, and you can type that in the chat. But for me, true success is being able to spend quality time with my family, have experiences here on earth, and to be able to give back and impact the world. That is true success for me. Now, if that means that I need to have an income coming in to support that successful lifestyle without me exchanging my time, now I've got to figure out a different way to what the system has taught me. But you see, the moment I start to think of a different way than what the system has taught me, the moment I start to look, who has real-time freedom? Who is living the life that I truly desire? Who has children and still is able to spend time with them, but still have the level of lifestyle that I want? I couldn't find anyone in the job business that was doing this, guys. I couldn't find anybody who worked a job, an employee. This is no shade to employees, but I couldn't find any employee that was living the lifestyle that I desired, but yet still our grandparents, our parents, our great-grandparents are telling us that this is the route to success. No wonder we need brainwashing, because what we're being taught currently, we are a product of the results of what we're being taught. We are a product. If we're and then what we do is we teach our children the same thing. Go to school, college, uni, you know, and we got to remember and understand. And I'm not saying that going to university is wrong. I'm not saying that going to school or college is wrong. What I'm saying is how we educate our children, how we educate ourselves to understand that you're going to that place to network. You're going to that place to learn discipline. You're going to that place to learn certain skills so that you can now come out and be a boss of your life, to own businesses, to buy back the block, to be able to be investors, to be able to, this is how I speak to my children. But the disease attitude is that anybody that's not following the systematic stuff that we've been taught is crazy. And so how dare you now begin to launch a business? How dare you now begin to start investing? How dare you now begin to do what the 1% of the successful people are doing? Because you go against the 90% of this world. And so the attitude is, can I fix my mind on my goal? Can I speak life over myself, even though 90% of people are doing something different? Can I speak life over myself? Can I tell myself I'm worth the investment? Can I tell myself that I am worth launching? Can I tell myself that it's worth me stepping outside of the grain? You know, I used to say to myself, you know, Nikki, 90% of the people that you talk to, they don't get you. And then I reverse engineered it and said, well, actually, Nikki, 95% of the people will never have the results that you desire. So you don't want them to get you. Have you ever been in a place where you're at family functions and you're the only one that has a different opinion? When you're at family, when you're at old school friend link ups and you have a different voice, you have some, and they're talking things and you're hearing things and you're like, oh no, I don't agree. And then you just say, you know what, let them get on with it. I don't even know if I have the energy to have it. Oh, the reason why you're different, the reason why you're the minority is because you're called for a different thing. The reason why you're minority, because you've woke yourself up to know that that systematical chain of poverty strategy is not for you. But how do you behave when you are the minority? Do you shrink back and let them convince you? Or do you know who it is on the inside of you so you don't allow that attitude disease to mess you up? Let alone the attitude of other people. Oh, you think you're big now because you decide to be entrepreneur. You think you're this now because you decided to launch your goals. No, I don't think I'm anything. I know who I'm called to be. I know who God has called me to be. I know who my creator has told me I am. Because I am that I am that I am. And this is the confidence. This is how some of us are going to overcome some of the things that we've been taught. Some of those words that mess us up. Some of those things that other people have put on us, and now we're receiving it. Because let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, words are contagious if you don't. Crop failure, nip that in the bud. Someone say, how's your small business going? No, I don't know. My business ain't small, boo. I ain't receiving that. Here's a big business. Like everything I do is big. Like I don't know about that. You can take that one away. Crop failure on that. We're gonna snooze that one. Now you start to challenge the status quo. Now you start to say, I ain't receiving that. Sometimes you have to open your mouth and say, I don't receive that. I don't receive that. I'm not receiving that over my life, because I understand that words are seed. Word is seed. What words am I allowing in my ears? What words am I speaking? What words am I listening to on a day-to-day basis? Because the words are going to cultivate my attitude. You see, you listen to me every day, you're going to hear me say, you're a queen, you're bold, you're amazing. Crop failure on negativity. So now you hang around some of your old peoples and they start talking. You're going to be like, crop failure, Nikki. Oh my God, I heard, Jesus, glory from me, right? You start to be allergic to negativity too, because the environment that you're in is allergic to negativity. But if you're around your cousin and them from the chicken shop and they hang out in Morley's every day talking about how they're going to get involved in Bitcoin and crypto, and they have no idea what they're talking about, and you're sitting there and they're telling you about this is a scam and that is this and this and that and that and that, all of a sudden you start to get drawn in. This is why I say to you guys, personal development is personal. You got to know to yourself, you got to be convicted in your heart that you have to be personally developing. Who you become is what's going to attract that money into your life. Who you hang around is going to attract that money into your life. What you're speaking is going to attract that money into your life. And so the environment that you sow yourself in, the environment that you sit yourself in is going to determine what it is, the outcome that you have coming out of your life. Most people don't set goals. So do we copy most people? No. Most people are unsuccessful. So why would I want to copy their strategy? It makes no sense, boo-boo. It makes no sense. Why would I want to copy you? Like sometimes, you know, and this may sound crazy, but sometimes you have to get good at asking questions. Someone said to me yesterday, we were talking and he wanted to sign up in my business and he wanted me to mentor him. And he was like, yo, Nikki, how much do you earn? I said, that's the wrong question, bro. How much do you earn? How much money is in your account? Like, when you're asking me my business, I said, what you should be asking is, Nikki, what did you do to earn what you earn? You see, successful people know the questions to ask. Unsuccessful people have no idea what questions to ask. You will be good at asking questions. Good at asking questions so you can be like, okay, tell me, what did you do to get that result? How was you thinking when you got that result? You see, I want to get into a successful person's mindset. Don't tell me about the result. How's that going to help me? Me telling you that I have £1 million property portfolio and I've been able to earn, you know, on a good month, 60,000. Like, what does that do for you? Other than, I don't know, maybe it might inspire you, but it's not going to help you. You want to ask, Nikki, what did you do to get that result? What was you thinking? I want to know how you think, because if I can understand how you think, then I can duplicate the results, because I understand that I attract the money based on who it is that I become. Who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? How are you being intentional about growing? So Jim Rohn, he says that you got to set goals. Then he says you got to eliminate the negativity and the diseases of the attitude. And the third and final thing he says is understand the day that turns your life around. Understand the day that turns your life around. There's going to be an emotion that irks you in your stomach. There's an emotion. Emotions can change your life. I was sharing on Instagram the other day how, you know, there was a time when I was hungry and I had no food in the cupboards, and I called my best friend and I told her that, you know, I was hungry and I needed some food. And she said, I'll call you back. I'm just going in the hairdressers. And she never called me back for 3 weeks. Yo, I tell you this, that day, the emotion that I had inside me was like, never again am I going to depend on somebody else to feed me. Nikki, you better wake up, because life moves on. People are not obligated to me. People are not obligated to feed me. I'm obligated to feed me. So I better fix up. Now, an emotion could have been pity party. Oh, why didn't she help me? Why am I by myself? I have no one to help me. I'm here hungry. I'm pregnant. Why did my baby father leave me? I could sit there in a pity party all day. You see, the emotions that you have can change your life. They have the power to change your life. They have the power to build, or they have the power to destroy. You can sit there in self-pity, or you can stand and you can say, you know what? I need to get up from here. I'm not going to stay broke. I'm not going to stay hungry. So we have to become intelligent. This is emotional intelligence. We have to become intelligent to allow our emotions to build us as opposed to break us, to destroy us. How do you use your emotions? How do you behave when you're emotional? Because here's the thing. What separates successful people and unsuccessful people is unsuccessful people turn that emotion into passion, aggression, into an outcome. Unsuccessful people allow that emotion to destroy them. They go into self-pity and they don't move. They stay stuck. And they're comfortable around speaking to the same types of people. They're comfortable being in rooms with everybody complaining. I told one of my friends the other day, I said, listen, it's only because you're my friend, I've listened for 60 seconds. If it was anybody else, I would cut this call by now. I ain't sitting in here letting you put that garbage in my ear. Listen, I understand that life has happened. I am sorry. I get it. But how are we going to move forward, sis? What can I do to support you? What do you need? You know, one of the things of my mentor, and it's so frustrating sometimes because sometimes I'm like telling him a story. He's like, why are you telling me a story? Just tell me what you need. Why are you giving me the whole, why? And I'm like, no, I want you to feel the flow of how this has got. No, just tell me what you need. Tell me what you need so we can sort this thing out, so we can fix it. I don't want to sit here for an hour in the pity party, because when you hear yourself, because remember, when the words come out your mouth, you're sowing a seed in your own self. So by me sitting there, oh, he left me. I thought he was going to be the man. He told me he was going to marry me. And, you know, ain't nobody going to want me now. And then, what is all that doing? Oh, no one's signing up in my business. No one's buying from me. They're going to continue to not buy from you because that's what you keep speaking. If you keep speaking it, it's going to keep showing up in your life. Oh, I have low self-esteem. I'm shy. You're going to continue to have low self-esteem and be shy until you say, you know what? I'm going to stand in front of the room. I'm going to let my voice be heard. I'm going to work on myself. I'm not going to give myself permission to be a loser. I'm not going to give myself a permission to stay stuck. I'm not going to give myself permission to feel sorry for myself. Yeah, it shouldn't have happened to you. Yes, it was rough. Yes, it was bad. Yes, it's a tough season. Yes, it's not going to be easy. But guess what? Despite that, I know that there is a blessing on the other side of this. I can take this situation and I can allow it to destroy me, or I can allow it to build me up. Where brick by brick, that same testimony now goes and inspires others. Where I can now connect with another woman who her baby father has left her. And I can now say to her, you chose him though, sis. I can say that to you because that's exactly where I was. You chose him. You chose that man. You allowed that man to be in your life. You're the one that told him it was acceptable to treat you like that. They say you do it once, it's your bad. But if you do it twice, it's my bad. Come on now. Right? Someone borrows money from you and they don't pay it back, and then they come back to borrow money again and they haven't paid back the first loan, and you give them the second bit again. Who's the fool? The word tells me, there's a scripture in Psalms, I think it's 24 or somewhere around there. You can check it out. And it says, the wise follow the wise, but a fool will follow a fool. If you follow the wise, you become wise. Do you think I can hang around wise people and hear the words that they're saying, and all of a sudden it doesn't start to come out my mouth too? Do you think you can hang around a fool and not become one? Oh, you guys ain't playing today. You guys ain't playing today. You're not playing today. You wonder why you start speaking the way you speak. Have you ever had a spouse and you start saying things like them? You've been hanging around the best friends and you start speaking like them. I pray, my prayer is for you that you're hanging around the right seeds, because when those words start coming out your mouth, you realize, oh my gosh, that ain't even me. The other day, my husband, he moved location to where he works, and he's Jamaican. He's hardcore Jamaican, right? And so when he comes home and he's like, to be fair, Nikki, I said, to be fair? To be fair what? To be fair to who? You be hanging around them people at work too much. To be fair, it starts to rub off. It starts to rub off. I mean, he ain't never said to be fair in his life. That isn't a Jamaican saying. But he be hanging around them peoples, and them peoples be saying to be fair, and now he coming in and saying be fair. This is why you got to make sure who you're hanging around. It's okay with the words that they're saying because it rubs off, regardless whether you like it or not. Word is seed. Word is seed. And if we're intelligent enough to control those emotions, it will change our life. It will. So when quote unquote bad things happen, I don't think there's anything called bad things. I just think life happens. And there's a series of events that we have to go through, and it's the survival of the fittest. But when life happens, how do you speak? Do you change your word? Do you change your confession? Are you different depending on the results that you have? So when you get a good result, when someone gives you a compliment, you're all happy about it. You're like, oh my God, yeah, they said I'm pretty. Or, oh my God, they said my content was really good. Or, oh my God, I got 100 likes. But then when you only get 3 likes, or when somebody doesn't comment you feel bad because your life and your affirmation is based on man, on the word of man. But if you can rest your affirmation on the word of God and what God says about you, other people's compliments are a bonus. In fact, Dr. John C. Maxwell says that he doesn't listen to the good or the bad, because the good can give you an ego and the bad can make you feel down. He just knows that he delivers his work based on who he serves. And he knows he's done the best he can. Sometimes you edify somebody and you tell them how amazing they are, their head gets bigger than the door. And they think they're bigger and better than you. And all of a sudden, they don't want to talk to you no more. Sometimes with accolades and edification and awards, people change. And then you have the flip side when someone says something negative. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you, it still hurts. It does. Let's not, I saw somebody write on a post the other day, I don't care what nobody says. Yes, you do. We all do. Let's be honest. We do care what people say. Every single one of us want to be liked. It's an innate human nature to want to be liked, to want to be accepted. We all want that. But we don't need to base our life on it. We don't base our existence on it. We don't base whether we move or not on it. So this seeking validation that, oh, do you think I should do it? I heard about a new business. Do you think I should do it? You're asking your broke friend who works in McDonald's whether you should launch a £1 million business or not. Homegirl, why are you asking them for advice? Why are you asking? Why are they your confidant? You didn't ask the person who's introducing you to introduce you to somebody who's successful, and you say to them, listen, this is my position. Do you think I can be successful? Why don't you ask the successful person whether they think you should do it? You're asking your broke friend from Primark whether they should do it. Because we're not good at asking questions, and we're not good at validating who to give us advice. Because in the world that we live in, we have broke people giving people advice on how to start businesses, fat people teaching you how to lose weight. We have divorced people teaching you how to keep a man. Come on now. I don't understand it personally. Am I going too in? Oh my God, this ain't even in my notes. I don't know what's going on. Holy Spirit, rain, help me, hold me back, yo. I didn't want to go there today, guys. But we have to know who it is that we're talking to, know where we're getting our advice from, know exactly what's going on, because some of us are led astray because we're not good judgments of character. We don't know how to judge opportunities. We don't know how to judge character. How many of you have seen, I saw a film once, it's going to come to me in a minute. Come to me. We were watching it at a retreat. No, we weren't. We weren't watching it at a retreat, but it has cookie in it. Yes, we were watching it at the retreat. What's the name of it? We were watching this film, and this woman, she had let her broke family members trick her out of her man, right? And convince her to dash out her man. Like, she had her sisters who were telling her to leave her husband, telling her to get rid of her husband, to acrimony. See it there, right? And we were watching this film, and I'm like, why are you getting your advice from them? Why are you getting your advice from them? Why? They have hidden agendas. So you're getting these people to tell you to leave your man, and you end up losing your life over it, right? I'm like, yo, we gotta become good at evaluation. Someone write that word down. Evaluation. Can you become good at evaluating your life, where you are right now, where you want to be, Evaluating the people you hang around. You know, my mentor said to me one time, he was like, Nikki, do you know that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around? I was like, geez, I need to hang around with some more different people because I will be average of them. I will be the average. God forbid. Lord help me. This was 7 years ago, guys. I have been delivered because I was hanging around people that need me instead of hanging around people that feed me. And some of you are going to catch that on the way home. You're so comfortable hanging around people that need you so you can be the one, the expert that pours into them and that gives to them and gives them money, gives them advice, tells them the thing, and you're the boss. But here's what happens in that circle. It's not even a circle, it's a cage. You ain't getting fed. You're just getting bled. And they're pulling. Oh my God, I should have been a lyricist in another life. I should be a DJ, bro. Right? They're pulling from you and taking from you and taking from you and taking from you. And then you say, everybody always takes from me because you're hanging around people that you've given them the blueprint to take from you. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You want to be around people that are going to pour into you, but you build your persona to only be around people that take you and drain you and suck you dry. I call them motivation hoovers. They will suck your positivity away from you, literally suck you up like a hoover till you don't even know. Have you ever been on the phone with that person and they're giving you all their problems, and by the time you get off the phone, you're like, why do I feel so heavy? Why do I feel sad? Like, I was having a good day before I spoke to such and such. We got to be good at evaluating the people that we hang around, evaluating the words, the seeds that are sown into the ground of our mind. We got to be so good at that. Because otherwise what happens is 2024, new year, new me. 2025, new year, new me. And by the 14th of January, you're back to the same old routine. You're back to doing the same old things, back to the cravings, back to the same conversation. Are you tired of having the same conversations? I know I was. Every time I speak to certain people, it's the same conversations over and over again. Oh, your baby father's doing that again. Oh, your job, you hate your job. Have you ever spoken to someone and all they do is complain about their job? Like they never talk about anything else other than their job. And you're like, yo, if you hate your job so much, do something else. Quit. Something else to do. But no, you don't have the capacity to find anything else to do. You're just happy complaining. Well, guess what? I'm not going to be the girl that you're going to dump that on me every day. Like, and I'm going to keep telling you, oh, go tell your boss. Oh, why don't you find something else to do? Oh, why don't you do that? No, because some people don't want to change. It's one of the hardest things to do is to admit, I'm not happy where I am and I need to change. In fact, I'm going to teach you guys something today. Right? It is powerful stuff right here. You guys put some flames if you're getting some value on this session, right? And so how do you check? What you have to do, guys, and this is the thing. Some people, yeah, I hate my job, but if I had more time, I'd launch a business. If I had more time, I'd do this. Well, guess what? You ain't never going to launch because you ain't never going to have enough time. We all have 24 hours, boo-boo. You're never going to have enough time. Don't tell me if you had enough time, if you had more time. How do you create more time? It's 24 hours. What do you want, 25? Like there's 24 hours in a day. Nikki, if I only had more time, well, no, you don't need more time. What you need is, if you can't create extra time in a day, what you have to do is you have to create more value. You have to become a person of more value. In life, value makes the difference in your results. You can't get more time, but you can create more value. This is basic economics, guys, and I don't need to go into it deep, but you get paid not for your time, but for the value you bring to the marketplace. Facts. It may take time to build the value, but the value is going to pay. This is why, okay? This is why there's some people that earn a certain amount and there's some people that earn less. Why? Because of the value that they bring. This is why managers earn more than cashiers. Why? Because of the value that they bring. Why? And does it mean that the manager spends more time working than the cashier? No, in fact, sometimes the cashier is working harder. The cashier gets an hour lunch break while the manager sits around the back, takes food at the leisure. I've done it. Trust me, I know, right? You get paid for the value. You get more time back. The more value you bring to the marketplace, the more time back. Is it possible for you to become more valuable? Could you become 2 to 3 times more valuable right now to be able to create 2 to 3 times more income for yourself? Yes, you can. If you work on yourself, right? Most people want to work on their job and they want to work on their business. No, you got to make sure you work on yourself. What's your personal development goal? What have you worked on yourself? We spoke about goals at the beginning. Do you have a personal development goal? 2 years ago, I spent 60,000 on my personal development. Last year, I only did 36, and I sat down with myself when I was writing my goals. I said 36,000 for the year, Nikki. No, you did 60 the year before. I got to up my personal development. I'm making sure that I'm flying to certain conferences. I'm going to certain events. I'm putting myself in programs. I'm making sure that I have more value to bring to the marketplace by investing in my personal development. Now, guys, I'm not telling you to spend 60 grand on your personal development. There's so many resources that are for free as well. YouTube. All you need to do is Google, what it is that you want to work on. Maybe you want to work on self-confidence. Go on YouTube, type self-confidence. Look for somebody that has the results that you want and follow them. But how many people don't even do that? Oh, yeah, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to go on personal development once a week and they can't show up. Can you put a date in your diary every Monday, an alarm to alarm you for this call, to say, you know what, I need to show up for myself? Once a week to pour into yourself. Are you worth it? You see, this is where the self-value comes in. Do you even think that you're worth it? I told this story before, and I'm going to tell it again. There was this story between Les Brown and Dr. Miles Monroe. And Dr. Miles Monroe had an offer from an education board who wanted him to come and teach. And they said, send me your price. So he goes to Les Brown and he says, Les, what do you think I should charge? I was thinking around 3,000. So Les Brown is like, 3,000? He's like, how you going to charge 3,000? I charge 10. No, I charge 25. And I believe you're better than me. And so he's like, 25? It's just an hour talk. And Les Brown's like, yeah. Do you not know your worth? He said, in fact, if you don't charge 25, I don't want to chat to you because you don't even know your worth. So then Dr. Miles Monroe, he then sent the message to the university, said, here's my price, it's 25,000. Guess what they did? They paid. They paid. You see, the reason why you get what you get is because of what you're asking for. You don't even know your own worth. If he'd have said 3, he would have got 3. How many of you right now need to work on becoming? Here's the thing. Go ahead and type in the chat, right? If I said to you, if you typed in the chat 100,000 a month, you would be earning 100,000 a month. Type 100,000 a month in the chat, right? This is just a basic thing I'm going to show you guys. If I said to you that the only thing you had to do was type 100,000 a month and you would earn 100,000 a month, go ahead and type it in. And let me tell you this. There are some people on this call that did not do it. There's some people on this call that did not do it in full. There's some people on this call that couldn't be bothered to type 100,000 a month. Some people did 100,000. Some people didn't put that a month. Some people didn't even go to type because they cannot be bothered. And in life, that is what it is. It's not that things are hard. It's that we can't be bothered. We don't want to follow the full instruction. We're focused on other things. We're multitasking. And in life, opportunity comes just like that. Can you decide? You see, a lot of people want to earn 100,000 a month, but they don't want to become the person that's required to earn that 100,000 a month. So now the question is how do you become above average person of value? How do you become an above average person of value? Because if you want to earn an above average income, then you have to become a person above average. Nikki, how do I become a person above average? Check this out, guys. What if I said it was so easy as this? Can you have an above average smile? Can you have an above average handshake? Can you have an above average attitude? Can you have an above average energy? Can you have an above average interest in other people? Can you have an above average intensity to win? Can you have an above average? Listen, most people come on a call like this, they'll have their camera off. You know, you're above average just by having your camera on. Do you know you're above average just by typing in the chat? Do you know you're above average by the energy that you bring? Guys, I'll tell you this, to have an above average income, you got to have become an above average person. You got to become the person that is going to earn that money. You got to become that person. You got to learn to work harder on yourself than it is that you work on your job. Harder on yourself than it is that you speak negative. Harder on yourself than it is. The more you work on yourself, the more you become a person of value, guess what happens? All of a sudden, phone calls start to come. All of a sudden, opportunities start to come. But the first thing you got to do, my mentor talks about this formula, write this formula down, is desire plus skill, right? Desire plus skill. So the first thing, you got to have a desire for change. Do you have a desire to change your life? Do you have a desire for more? Do you have a desire to become somebody of more value? Do you have that desire? Now, desire is the start of all achievement, right? You got to have that desire. It's the goals. You got to have a goal. You got to have a desire of your heart. And then the skills is, what skills do I need to achieve that goal? This is now strategy. Who do I need to hang around? Who can I get advice from? Who's mentoring me? Who's talking into my life so that I can now build on the skill sets required? Desire is the heart. Desire is where it's going to come from, your passion, your energy, your confidence. And then you have times faith. Oh boy, times faith. That means that no matter what happens, you still have faith. No matter what your bank account says, you don't lose hope. You don't start speaking lack over yourself. No matter what your boss says, no matter what the traffic does, no matter what the children do, no matter what the spouse does. Guys, I can have an argument with my husband 10 minutes before this call. I'm still showing up high on energy as ever before. Because my current environment doesn't make me forget the future me. And so when I think, if I do this, how will this affect the future me? You know why? Because I'm a leader. Leaders lead. Leaders lead. Let me give you the acronym for leader. L. L stands for love. You got to love what you do. You got to love who you are. You got to love, the people that you serve. You got to love passionately everything that it is that you want to create. Love your vision. Love your purpose. Love your mission. E stands for expectation. This is your vision. You're expecting things to go well. You're expecting this thing to happen. You're expecting that 100,000 a month to show up. You're expecting the right people to come into your life. You're expecting the phone calls. You're expecting people to like you. You're expecting to be in the right circles. You see, whatever you expect in life is what's going to come. You say things like, oh, I don't trust people. People are snakes. I don't do girls. Girls are, the B word. I don't do this. I don't do that. Whatever you expect, whatever you speak, that's what shows up. That's why you got to speak what you seek. A stands for action. Then you got to take the action that's required in order to get what it is that you say that you want. So you say that you want 100,000 a month, but are you working on yourself? Are you doing the personal development? Are you going to the events? Are you putting yourself in the rooms with people that have the results that you want? You've got to take action. They say faith without works is dead, but let me tell you this, faith is a doing word. Faith is a doing word. If you say you want something, you cannot do the opposite and expect to have it. That is madness. So me saying, I want to lose weight, I want my six-pack to come back, but then behind closed doors, I'm eating Mr. Kipling's cakes with the extra cream. Behind closed doors, I'm eating Jamaican ginger cake, custard, I'm eating ice cream. How do I say that I want to get my six-pack back, but my action is doing something different? That no make it, as my mum would say. No, it no gosso. You have to make sure that your actions are in alignment with what it is that you're speaking. Because if you speak something out your mouth, but your behavior is different, then guess what, guys? You're not going to get the results. That's why you got to keep speaking it. Keep speaking. Because all of a sudden, when you start to speak, your body will catch up. Your actions will catch up. The D is discipline. We spoke a lot about discipline last week. Discipline is so important. Discipline is something that separates the real bosses from the jokers. Consistency is something that you don't have to teach leaders to be consistent and disciplined. There's just something in them. I don't need reminding that I have a vision. I don't need reminding that I got to get up. No one needs to tell me, Nikki, are you going to start the 9 o'clock call? No, I'm disciplined. I've been disciplined for many, many years. Discipline, self-discipline, being able to have that accountability with yourself, because you have a love for the vision, you have an expectation for the vision, you know that you've been taking action. So guess what? I've got to be disciplined on that action. Most people start January, new year, new me, and by now they're quit. By now they've rolled over. By now they've stopped doing what they said because they lack discipline. Discipline is you saying, I'm willing to sacrifice for a bigger gain, for a bigger goal. Now, most people say they want the bigger goal, but they ain't willing for the sacrifice. Remember, a battery is positive and negative, right? The positive of everything, there's a negative. You want 100,000, guess what? You gotta die to self, and you gotta become 100,000 person worth of value. You want 100, you want to lose that weight, then guess what? The negative is you're gonna have to put some work in. You may have to go to the gym. You may have to lose some, take the Crave spray. Hint, hint. You may have to start drinking some of that juice. You may have to, I don't know, go to the gym. You may have to start to diet. There is a negative of every positive thing that you want. And the problem is most people are not prepared to do the sacrifice and the negative in order to get what it is that they want. And you got to decide, because if you're not prepared to do it, it's fine. When I mentor people, I say, listen, how much do you want to earn? They tell me a number. I'm like, cool, this is what it's going to take. If you want to make 100K a month, this is what it's going to take. It's going to take you putting in 8 hours a day. It's going to take you doing things out of your comfort zone, going on Instagram, phoning people you've never spoke to, walking into shops, knocking on doors. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so you don't want 100K. Let's bring the goal back now. Now I've established what you don't want to do. Let's bring it back to where you are comfortable with the outcome as well as the work. Because you can't have it, the battery needs both. Does that make sense, guys? You can't have it both ways. I can't say I want the 6-pack, but I still want to eat macaroni and cheese and all of that. You can't have it both ways. Unless I want to go under the knife. But even then, that's still the negative. I'm going to have to cut myself, put my life at risk, go under surgery. There's also always a negative towards every positive that you want. You want to be married. You want to have a great relationship. Well, guess what? It means you're going to have to sacrifice. Sometimes you have to shut your mouth when you really want to argue. Sometimes you have to be disciplined to yourself. You cannot have the outcome without changing something about yourself. You want to be married. If you're single on this call and you want to mingle, let me tell you this. You're single. You are manifesting you have a husband. You're manifesting that this guy will show up. Where are you? Are you a person that is like ready to be found? I had this conversation with one of my sisters the other day. She's like, yeah, I'm single. There's no guys. Like, where are all the guys? I'm like, where are you going to, where are you going? So, oh, I don't go nowhere. See how dumb it is now? Can you see how stupid it sounds? No one is finding me. No one's asking me out. No one's talking to me, but I stay in my house and I don't do people. How does that go towards your goal? It is a juxtaposition. It doesn't work. Or I get the other friend, oh, Nikki, all I get is broke people. Well, where are you finding them? In the club. Say what now? So you want to have a high value man and you're going to the club to find him, yeah? So when he's dirty whining and brocking out, that's the guy that you think is going to be the one. Oh, yeah, Nikki, but listen, we haven't got time to explore this. Okay, this is a ladies only conversation, and you know this is coming on the 27th when you guys got better be in the room because we're going to talk about relationships and money, right? That was a quick plug. If you ain't in the room on the 27th, I have no for you. Nicholas, behave yourself because you won't be in the room. It's a women only kind of conversation, but we got to do better, ladies. We have to do better. We have to do better. Discipline. You want the man, but you got to become the woman that's going to attract the man that you say that you want. I'm going to leave you with that. E is experience. You got to experience it. One of the things my mentor said is go there before you get there. We just bought a house, guys, and the house, we visited it 2-3 years before we actually bought it. We embodied that property. Test drive the car before you buy it. I don't care if you have the money. You got to give yourself the experiences. You got to go where those people hang out that you want to become. You want to be a wife. Start going. I don't sound crazy. The man them are going to be like, what? You want to be a wife? Go and put on the wedding dress. Go to the store and actually put it on. Nikki, you're crazy. You see, successful people have they're tapped, as the young people will say. Successful people do crazy stuff. Do you know, I took one of my girls to put on a dress and we got a dress fitting. She didn't even have a man. She didn't even have a man. She's married now, though. Someone say something. It's who you become when you put that dress on. Oh yeah, Nikki, you're nuts. Nikki, you're nuts. Why would I go on and put on wedding dresses? I haven't have a man yet. You know, before I had my husband, I found this prophecy, and the lady was saying to me, go to the store. She said, go to Next and buy 5 shirts for a man. I was like, Rudel, I don't have a man. Why am I going to Next to buy 5 shirts? This is in church. The lady's prophesying over me. But I did it. I did it. And guess what? Anton showed up. And do you know the funny thing is those shirts fit him. Like, I don't think you guys understand the power of having experiences. You gotta go there before you get there. So when you have that experience, it's like sitting in a Rolls Royce. Now I've sat in it. I'm like, my next car's a Rolls Royce. I remember wishing that I had a Range Rover. And I was happy with my Range Rover until I sat in the Rolls Royce. I was like, nah, I need a Rolls Royce. It's like first class. Don't go and sit there, guys. I tell you, do not do a first class. Do not do business, because it will mess you up for life. The minute I sat in business class, I've never sat anywhere else again. I told you the story where I started crying, right? I started crying when I sat in economy because I no longer wanted to sit there. And I made sure that I could afford to sit in business class every single time. You got to go there before you get there, because it's something that's going to trigger off inside you. And finally, the R is results. When you become the leader that you're supposed to be, the leader of your life, you will start to get the results. And that's going to be based on the people's lives that you touch, the amount of problems that you solve. Successful people solve problems. You become a problem solver, and all of a sudden you become more successful. So the results start to show up when you decide to be a leader of your life, when you decide to say to yourself, you know what? I need more. I've got to do better. How many of you know that this year is not going to be the repeat of last year? How many of you know that this year has to be a year of change, growth? It's got to be a year where you say, I'm getting my money up. It's going to be a year where I'm going to get my value up. It's going to be a year where I'm stop seeking validation from other people. It's going to be a year where I say, you know what? I know I'm worth more. I know I got to build on myself. I know I got to do my personal development. So I stop speaking lack over myself and lack over people. I know that I once before had that situation, but that situation ain't coming nigh me again, because this is the year of expansion. This is the year of growth. This is a year where we're saying that we are going to the next level, whatever that next level is for you, whatever you've been praying for, whatever you've been hoping for. Let me tell you this, you can't pray for if you're not willing to pay for. You have to pay for what you pray for. By that, I mean, you're going to pay in money, but you're also going to pay in time. You're going to pay in sacrifice. You're going to pay in attention. You have to pay for what you pray for. It's not no miracle. Your miracles, you have to go towards your miracle. You don't sit down waiting for it to come. The miracle is going to be with you moving towards the miracle that you require, right? That's the issue of blood lady. She didn't sit down and say, if God will come to me, I will be healed. She said, if only I could touch the hem of his garment. And what did she do? She went to touch his hand. You have to move in accordance to what it is that you say that you want, and become the leader of your life, so that you can then lead others and become problem solvers. Guys, I'm so excited about this piece of training. There's going to be a part 2 to this, because I've got so much more to give you guys. But here's the thing, what I want to say to you is this. If you've made a decision that you know that there's something calling on your heart, the desire of your heart, you're not currently living in where you currently know that you've been called to, put a 7 inside the chat. I want you to be honest with yourself. If you know that the desire of your heart, where you should be, is not where you're currently at right now, but you have a desire for it, you know that there's change, you know that you got to step, you know that you got to put yourself in environment, put a 7 inside the chat. Now, here's the confirmation that you need today. I don't believe that there's any coincidences. I believe you clicked this link, you came on here because you needed to hear this. And if you've stayed for all this time, then I know that you're somebody that needs to hear this, what I'm going to say. I will tell you this right now, that your breakthrough is going to be solely dependent on your obedience. It's not about the skill set. It's not about how good you look. It's not about how good you are, because all those things you can work on. This is about your obedience. What's obedience, Nikki? This means that you hear a word. Some people call it a gut feeling. I call it Holy Spirit. Some people, everybody calls it something different. But you hear a word and then you listen to that word that you hear. Now, a lot of us have been disobedient in the past, that we've been told to go somewhere. We've been told to call someone. We've been told to have that conversation and we've ignored it. But the season that you want, the thing that you're desiring right now is going to be on the back of your obedience to say yes. And I don't want you to tell me what that yes to is. I want you to type yes in the chat. If you're going to say, I'm ready to submit and be obedient to who it is that I'm called to be. That may mean many different things to other people. Anybody on this call will have something different, but you have to say yes. Say yes to stop playing small, to say yes to actually going for it. Say yes to putting yourself in the right room. Say yes to being the confident person that you're called to be. Say yes to your rebuild. Say yes to your bank account enlargement. Say yes to your relationship. Yes to your children. Yes to whatever it is that you need. But you're saying yes now, and this run is personal. This one is for you. It's not for the people that you serve. This one is for you to say to yourself, I say yes to myself. A lot of people say, I'm going to prove the haters wrong. No, this is not about proving the haters wrong. This is about proving to yourself and those that believe in you that you can do this, that you are capable. You're an iconic, powerful person, and you are now going to be obedient to the call that you have in your life. Guys, I'm so fired up. Let me see if I can share with you some things that I have pending. So at the beginning of this call, you saw that we have the Alive meetup, the wealth seminar. This is going to be on Saturday. I'm getting the flyer changed. It's actually 5:30 on Saturday. Okay, so if you haven't got your tickets for that, early bird finishes, I think, in 3 days. Okay, this is £10 for the ticket. It then goes up to £20. Okay, and this is 5:30 till 8, and this is simply just wealth strategies. Okay, this is about men and women, of course, are invited. You're going to learn e-commerce, forex trading, health and wellness, Airbnb, and so much more when it comes to just making money and business online. However, if you are a female, you are going to want to come from 2 p.m. Now, 2 p.m., the ticket is slightly different. It's £20. Okay, it's going to go up in 3 days to £40. Now, from 2 p.m. all the way for the whole day, we are starting, because girls, we need to get our money up. And so this is going to be around the psychology of money, branding your money, money and relationships, growing your money, becoming an investor, and the whole mindset behind it. It's going to be a workshop. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be an absolutely incredible day. Okay, so you're going to want this ticket, just females only, from 2 p.m. to the 5 p.m. Now, this ticket will also get you in for the 5:30 p.m. to the 8 p.m. as well, where you're going to get those strategies. My girl, Angela Brand, will be joining me. She is, absolutely phenomenal in branding. She has whole packages of photography and really helps to brand you to become, that money magnet that you're supposed to be. So I hope this is going to be in London. I hope to see you on the 27th. Again, these tickets go from £20 to £40 in 3 days. Okay, so you want to go to therebuild.co.uk. If you are a female, you're going to want the Girl Get Your Money Up. If you are a male, you're going to want the Alive London event. Okay, so I'm very fired up to see as many of you there as possible. This is something that God had called me to many, many years, and I myself was running. I wasn't obedient, but now the obedience has called, and I'm literally dedicated to helping so many people to, get on their rebuild. All right. And lastly, we have the VIP community. It is currently $17.77 a month to be a part of my private community. That community, guys, the price goes up at the end of the month, and it will be going up to, I believe, $29.99 a month until it gets back to its original price of $277. Okay, so if you want to get into the VIP community before the end of the month, you'll be able to get the $17.77 plus VAT price inside that VIP community, where we go all in and we have a fabulous time. In fact, the VIP community's masterclass is on Wednesday the 24th. So if you're in before then you can get into this month's masterclass as well. Ladies and gentlemen, set your alarm. for this day every single Monday, okay, where I'm going to help you rebuild brick by brick. This is so vitally important. You know, it is something that I believe that every single person should pour into themselves. This is something that God had given me for a very long time. And I decided that, listen, I don't care what background you're from. I don't care where it is in your journey. I know that people are going to receive something. And tell a friend, share the link with somebody, help them to pour into themselves. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the 27th in London. All right, take care. God bless you guys. Those of you that have been touched by this call, please go inside the communities and put your top 5 takeaways in so I can see that you got, you know, benefit and value from here. And if you're somebody that says, hey, look, I cannot wait till the 27th, I need to get involved ASAP, I need some support, then please reach out to whoever put you on this call, and they will be able to support you otherwise. God bless you. Have an absolutely phenomenal week. Go into this week, you know, not just jumping, but speaking. Speak who it is that you are seeking to become. And I promise you guys that brick by brick, you will get there. So God bless you. I'll see you at the top because you deserve to be there. My name is Nikki Sutherland. Take care. Good night. God bless. Brick by brick. Let's rebuild.